The ocean is a world of immense wonder, a vast and mysterious realm that covers most of our planet. Beneath its shimmering surface live creatures of incredible size and grace. Among these, the baleen whales are perhaps the most magnificent. They are true giants, the largest animals ever to have lived on Earth, even larger than the mightiest dinosaurs. Their presence in the water is a profound and humbling sight. They move with a slow, deliberate power, their enormous bodies gliding through the blue darkness. These are not fearsome predators, but gentle filterers, quietly going about their lives in the grand theater of the sea. Their songs, deep and resonant, travel for hundreds of miles, connecting them across the vast expanse of the ocean. These colossal beings are a testament to the power and beauty of evolution. Imagine a creature the length of 3 buses, with a heart as large as a small car, yet it survives on some of the smallest organisms in the sea. This is the paradox of the baleen whale. They are a symbol of the ocean's immense scale and its delicate balance. For centuries, they have navigated the world's oceans, their lives dictated by the changing seasons and the abundance of food. To witness a blue whale surface, its breath exploding into a misty plume, is to witness one of nature's greatest spectacles, a reminder of the wild and untamed spirit of our planet's waters. Their story is deeply entwined with our own. Humans have long been fascinated by these gentle giants, viewing them with a mixture of awe and fear. They have appeared in our myths and legends as ancient sea monsters and wise, old spirits of the deep. But our relationship has not always been one of reverence. The story of baleen whales is also a story of survival, a struggle against threats that have pushed many of their kind to the very brink of extinction. Understanding their lives is not just a matter of scientific curiosity, it is a crucial step towards ensuring their future, and in turn, the health of the oceans they inhabit. Today, as we look to the future of our planet, the fate of these magnificent animals hangs in the balance. They are sentinels of the sea, their health reflecting the health of the entire marine ecosystem. By learning about their unique biology, their incredible journeys, and their vital role in the ocean, we can begin to appreciate the true value of these gentle giants. Their continued existence is a responsibility we all share. Their songs must not fall silent. The ocean would be a much emptier, much quieter place without the grand singers of the deep, the majestic baleen whales. A Tale of Two Whales. The world of whales is divided into 2 great families. This division is not based on size or color, but on something much more fundamental, what they have inside their mouths. On one side, we have the toothed whales. This group includes the clever dolphins, the powerful orcas, and the deep-diving sperm whales. As their name suggests, they have teeth, which they use to hunt and grasp their prey, such as fish, squid, and other marine animals. They are active hunters, often working in groups to chase down their next meal with incredible speed and agility. Their teeth are sharp and efficient, perfectly designed for catching slippery and struggling food. On the other side of this family tree are the baleen whales. This group includes the colossal blue whale, the singing humpback whale, and the enormous fin whale. Instead of teeth, these giants have something truly remarkable in their mouths: baleen plates. These plates are not bone, but are made of keratin, the same material that makes up our hair and fingernails. Hundreds of these plates hang down from the whale's upper jaw, like a thick bristly curtain. Each plate is smooth on the outside but has a fringe of fine hair-like bristles on the inside, forming a dense mat that works like a giant sieve. This fundamental difference in their mouths leads to completely different ways of life. A toothed whale is an individual hunter, pursuing a single large meal. A baleen whale, however, is a bulk feeder, consuming vast quantities of tiny creatures in a single gulp. This distinction has allowed baleen whales to grow to such astonishing sizes. By tapping into the immense food source at the bottom of the ocean's food chain, they have unlocked a source of energy that can sustain their massive bodies. They do not chase, they simply filter, a gentle and efficient method of feeding on a grand scale. So, when you think of a whale, it is important to remember this crucial distinction. Are you picturing a nimble hunter with a mouthful of sharp teeth, or a colossal giant with a gentle filtering fringe? This single evolutionary feature, the presence of baleen instead of teeth, defines the very essence of what a baleen whale is. It dictates what they eat, how they live, and the unique and vital role they play in the world's oceans. It is a brilliant adaptation that has allowed them to become the largest and some of the most peaceful animals on our planet. Let us journey inside the mouth of a baleen whale to truly understand this marvel of natural engineering. The baleen plates are arranged in long parallel rows, hanging down from the roof of the mouth. There can be hundreds of these plates on each side, some reaching several meters in length in species like the bowhead whale. The plates are triangular in shape, wider at the gum line and tapering to a point. The side facing the tongue is not smooth, it is covered in a dense fringe of fine, matted bristles. When the whale's mouth is closed, these bristles interlock to form an incredibly effective net or sieve. The material itself, keratin, is both strong and flexible. This is essential, as the baleen must withstand the immense pressure of tons of water rushing into the whale's mouth during feeding. The plates bend without breaking, channeling the water and food correctly. Over time, the bristles at the ends of the plates can become worn down. But just like our own hair and nails, the baleen grows continuously throughout the whale's life. The color and texture of the baleen can even vary between different species, from the dark coarse plates of the gray whale to the finer, lighter colored plates of the minke whale. This variation is often related to their preferred type of food. The function of this system is elegantly simple, yet incredibly effective. It allows the whale to separate its tiny food from the vast amounts of seawater that it engulfs. Imagine trying to catch a single grain of rice in a swimming pool with a bucket. It would be nearly impossible, but with the right kind of net, the task becomes manageable. The baleen is the whale's net, perfectly designed for its microscopic prey. It is a high-volume, high-efficiency filtration system that has no parallel in the animal kingdom. This adaptation is the secret to their success and the reason they can sustain their gigantic forms. This intricate structure is a product of millions of years of evolution. The ancestors of modern whales had teeth, but over time, some lineages developed this alternative feeding strategy. The baleen system proved so successful that it allowed these whales to exploit a food source that was largely untouched by other large animals. This evolutionary path led to the gentle giants we see today, masters of filtering the ocean's bounty. The baleen is not just a tool, it is the very feature that defines their ecological niche and has enabled their reign as the largest creatures on Earth. What kind of food can sustain an animal that weighs up to 200 tons? The answer is surprisingly small. Baleen whales feed on some of the tiniest organisms in the ocean. Their primary food sources are krill, which are small shrimp-like crustaceans that form enormous swarms, sometimes stretching for miles. They also eat other small crustaceans like copepods, and in some cases, schools of small fish such as herring, capelin, or anchovies. These creatures may be individually small, but their collective biomass is immense. A single swarm of krill can contain billions of individuals, representing a massive concentration of protein and energy. The diet can vary depending on the whale species and its location. For example, the magnificent blue whale feeds almost exclusively on krill. Its fine baleen plates are perfectly suited for filtering these tiny crustaceans from the water. Humpback whales, on the other hand, have a more varied diet. They will happily consume krill, but are also adept at catching schools of small fish. Gray whales have a completely different preference. They are bottom feeders, stirring up sediment on the seafloor to find amphipods and other small creatures living in the mud. This dietary specialization helps to reduce competition between the different species of baleen whales that may share the same waters. A single baleen whale consumes an astonishing amount of food. During the feeding season in the cold, productive polar waters, a large blue whale can eat up to 4 tons of krill in a single day. That is millions upon millions of individual krill. They must eat this much to build up the thick layers of blubber or fat that will sustain them for the rest of the year. This blubber serves as their energy reserve during their long migrations and the breeding season, when they may eat very little or not at all. Their life is a cycle of feast and famine, driven by the seasonal availability of their food. This reliance on tiny prey makes baleen whales a crucial link in the marine food web. They transfer enormous amounts of energy from the bottom of the food chain, the plankton and krill, directly to the very top. They are a bridge between the microscopic and the gigantic. The health and abundance of krill populations are therefore directly linked to the survival of the world's largest animals. Any changes to the ocean environment that affect krill, such as climate change and ocean acidification, pose a direct and serious threat to the baleen whales that depend on them for their very existence. Baleen whales have developed several ingenious methods for gathering their tiny food. These feeding techniques are as varied as the whales themselves and are, honestly, fascinating displays of animal behavior. One of the most common methods is known as lunge feeding, practiced by whales like the blue whale and fin whale, which belong to a group called rorquals. A rorqual whale will accelerate towards a dense patch of krill and open its mouth to an almost 90-degree angle. Pleats on its throat expand like an accordion, allowing it to engulf a volume of water and food that can actually be larger than the whale itself. It then uses its massive tongue to force the water out through its baleen plates, trapping the krill inside. Another spectacular technique is bubble net feeding, which is most famously practiced by humpback whales. This is a remarkable example of cooperative hunting. A group of humpbacks will work together, diving deep below a school of fish or krill. They then release bubbles from their blowholes as they spiral upwards, creating a circular net of bubbles that surrounds and confuses their prey, concentrating them into a tight ball. The whales then surge up through the center of the net with their mouths wide open, swallowing thousands of fish in a single coordinated gulp. It is a stunning display of intelligence and teamwork. Gray whales, as bottom feeders, employ a completely different strategy. They swim down to the shallow ocean floor, roll onto their side, and suck up huge mouthfuls of mud and sediment. They use their coarse, sturdy baleen to filter out the water and mud, trapping the small crustaceans, worms, and other invertebrates that live within the seafloor. This feeding method often leaves long furrows or pits on the ocean bottom, visible signs of where a gray whale has been foraging for its meal. They are like giant gardeners of the seabed, constantly tilling the sediment. Finally, some whales, like the right whale and bowhead whale, are skimmers. They swim slowly near the surface with their mouths partially open, continuously filtering water as they move. They don't take single massive gulps, but instead graze steadily, allowing water to flow into the front of their mouths and out the sides through their very long fine baleen plates. This method is effective for capturing smaller, less concentrated prey like copepods. Each of these techniques is a perfect adaptation to the whale's specific environment and preferred food, showcasing the incredible diversity of strategies even within this single group of animals. The lives of most baleen whales are defined by one of the most epic journeys in the animal kingdom: migration. These gentle giants travel thousands of miles every year, following a rhythm that has been passed down through generations. Their migration is a tale of two oceans, a constant search for the best of both worlds. They travel between cold, food-rich feeding grounds and warm, calm breeding grounds. This incredible journey is one of the longest migrations of any mammal on Earth, a testament to their endurance and navigational prowess. It is a massive undertaking, driven by the fundamental needs of survival and reproduction. The feeding grounds are typically located in the polar regions, such as the Arctic and the Antarctic. During the summer months, these cold waters explode with life. The long hours of sunlight fuel a massive bloom of phytoplankton, which in turn supports colossal swarms of krill and other small creatures. The whales travel to these areas for a seasonal feast, spending several months consuming vast quantities of food. This is the time for them to build up the thick layers of blubber that will act as their energy stores for the long months ahead. The polar seas are their summer banquet hall. As winter approaches and the days grow shorter, the polar seas begin to freeze over and food becomes scarce. This is the signal for the whales to begin their long journey towards the equator. They travel to warmer tropical or subtropical waters to breed and give birth. These warm waters offer a safe, calm environment for the newborn calves. The calves are born without the thick layer of blubber that protects the adults from the cold. So the warm water is essential for their survival in their first few months of life. These tropical lagoons and coastal waters act as a nursery for the next generation of giants. This migration, however, comes at a great cost. The warm tropical waters are often poor in nutrients and contain very little of the whale's preferred food. During their time in the breeding grounds, which can last for several months, the adult whales may eat very little or nothing at all. They rely entirely on the energy they stored in their blubber during the summer feeding season. The mothers must produce rich, fatty milk to feed their growing calves, all while fasting themselves. This incredible feat of endurance makes their annual journey one of the most demanding and awe-inspiring events in the natural world. Baleen whales are true citizens of the world, found in every ocean from the icy expanse of the Arctic to the frigid waters surrounding Antarctica. Their distribution, however, is not random. It is dictated by their life cycle of feeding and breeding. Different species have their own preferred habitats and migration routes, creating a complex global map of whale activity. Some species, like the blue whale and the humpback whale, are found in oceans all over the world, with distinct populations in the northern and southern hemispheres that migrate at opposite times of the year, following the seasons. In the northern hemisphere, you might find gray whales migrating along the coast of North America, from their feeding grounds in the Bering and Chukchi Seas down to the warm lagoons of Baja California, Mexico. This is one of the most well-known and visible whale migrations. Humpback whales in the North Atlantic might spend their summers feeding off the coasts of Iceland and Greenland, then travel south to the Caribbean Sea to give birth. In the Pacific, other humpback populations travel between Alaska and Hawaii. These coastal routes sometimes bring them close to shore, offering spectacular opportunities for whale watching. In the southern hemisphere, the patterns are just as grand. The Antarctic Ocean is one of the most important feeding areas on the planet for baleen whales. During the southern summer, from December to February, these waters are teeming with krill, attracting vast numbers of humpbacks, fin whales, minke whales, and blue whales. As winter approaches, these whales then migrate north towards the coasts of South America, Africa, and Australia. Southern right whales, for instance, can be seen in the sheltered bays of Argentina and South Africa, where they come to nurse their young. Some species, however, do not undertake such long migrations. The bowhead whale, for example, is a true creature of the north, spending its entire life in the frigid waters of the Arctic. Its massive body and incredibly thick blubber layer, up to 50 centimeters thick, provide it with the insulation needed to survive in this extreme environment year-round. Similarly, Bride's whales are typically found in warmer tropical and subtropical waters throughout the year and do not migrate to the poles. This diversity in habitat use shows how baleen whales have adapted to fill different niches across the globe's oceans. Baleen whales are far more than just majestic inhabitants of the sea. They are vital engineers of the marine ecosystem. Their actions have a profound impact on the health and productivity of the entire ocean. One of their most important roles is that of nutrient cycling. Whales feed deep in the water column, but they must return to the surface to breathe. When they are at the surface, they release enormous fecal plumes. These plumes are rich in essential nutrients like iron and nitrogen, which are often scarce in the sunlit upper layers of the ocean. This process is sometimes called the whale pump. By bringing nutrients from the deep sea back up to the surface, whales fertilize the very foundation of the marine food web, phytoplankton. These microscopic plants need sunlight and nutrients to grow. The nutrients provided by the whales create blooms of phytoplankton, which in turn feed the zooplankton and krill that the whales themselves and many other species rely on. In this way, whales act as giant ocean gardeners, helping to keep the surface waters productive and full of life. Their movements across ocean basins also help to distribute these vital nutrients over vast areas. Furthermore, the daily vertical movements of whales diving deep to feed and returning to the surface help to mix the layers of the ocean. This mixing action is similar to tilling a garden, bringing nutrient-rich water up and oxygen-rich water down. This constant churning helps to support the health of the ecosystem from top to bottom. Even the simple act of a gray whale stirring up the seafloor helps to release nutrients trapped in the sediment and provides food for other bottom-dwelling animals. Their sheer size and constant movement have a physical impact on their environment. When a whale dies, its contribution to the ocean is far from over. Its enormous carcass sinks to the deep ocean floor, an event known as a whale fall. This provides a sudden, massive source of food in the dark, nutrient-poor abyss. A single whale fall can create a unique, rich habitat that supports a complex community of scavengers, from sleeper sharks to hagfish and countless species of invertebrates, for decades. A whale's body becomes an oasis of life on the barren seafloor, a final, lasting gift to the ocean. These gentle giants are essential for a healthy, thriving marine world. The story of the baleen whale is a story of magnificent scale and delicate balance. These gentle giants, the largest animals ever to grace our planet, play an indispensable role in the health of our oceans. From their unique baleen filters to their epic global migrations, they are a testament to the wonders of evolution. They are the great gardeners of the sea, fertilizing the surface waters with their nutrient-rich plumes and supporting the very foundation of marine life. Their lives connect the microscopic world of krill to the vast expanse of the global ocean, reminding us that every living thing, no matter how large or small, is interconnected. For centuries, human activity, particularly commercial whaling, brought many of these incredible species to the brink of silence. Their populations were decimated, and the songs that once filled the oceans grew faint. Today, while many populations are slowly recovering thanks to international conservation efforts, new threats have emerged. Climate change, ocean noise pollution, ship strikes, and entanglement in fishing gear pose a constant danger to their survival. The future of these magnificent creatures is not yet secure, and it rests firmly in our hands. Protecting baleen whales means protecting the health of our entire planet. Healthy whale populations are a sign of a healthy ocean, and a healthy ocean is vital for all life on Earth, including our own. The oceans regulate our climate, produce the oxygen we breathe, and provide food for billions of people. By ensuring the survival of whales, we are also working to preserve the stability of these critical marine systems. Their fate is inextricably linked to ours. We are the guardians of their future, the custodians of their ocean home. We must continue to learn, to understand, and to act. We must work to create safer seas, reduce our impact on their environment, and allow them the space and peace they need to thrive. Let us ensure that future generations will have the chance to marvel at the sight of a blue whale surfacing, or to listen to the complex, haunting songs of a humpback. The great baleen whales are not just animals, they are a vital part of our world's natural heritage. They are the true guardians of the blue planet, and they deserve our respect, our admiration, and our protection. The ocean's grand orchestra must be allowed to play on.